What's up everyone, and today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Lunalight Tri-Brigade. Now Lunalight Tri-Brigade is a very cool deck, and it's actually undergone a few changes since my last profile of it, considering my last profile of it was I was using Verte to go into the Phoenix Enforcer to pop my own Scythe. Obviously Verte and Scythe are banned, so those options aren't really available. Now it doesn't make the deck weaker by any means. We're still able to put out a lot of negates. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First, I run 3 Lunalight YUGIOH. YUGIOH, you can send one Lunalight monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. This face-up card's name becomes that card's name. And if this card is banished, you can activate this effect. This turn, your opponent card's effect cannot be activated on the battle phase. Now, the cool thing with YUGIOH is the sending is cost. So even if they can't even ash it. So whenever you activate the YUGIOH effect, you're basically getting what you want. It doesn't matter if they imperm, Veiler, all you want is that cost to send one of your copies of Yellow Marten to the grave. Now, the YUGIOH is a soft once per turn, so if we keep sending it, we can send multiple Yellow Martens to our grave. Yellow Marten, when it's in the graveyard, or in the hand as well, you can target one Lunalight card to control, except Yellow Marten, return to the hand, and if you do, special summon this card in defense position. So usually what you'll do is you'll use YUGIOH to send Marten. It'll copy the name of Marten, but that's not really important. And then you can use Marten to bounce your copy of Lunalight Tiger to your hand. And by doing that, you're able to use Lunalight Tiger's effect multiple times. Now, Tiger has a soft once per turn pendulum effect to target one Lunalight monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, but it cannot attack, and its effects are negated and is destroyed during the end phase. So, you can even with the YUGIOH, you can still attempt to activate its effect. It'll be negated by the Tiger, but you still activate it to send the Yellow Marten to grave. I really wish Lunalight Tiger would come back to 3. I think it can, and this deck would be fine. I also run the 1 Lunalight Emerald Bird. Originally, I was just running the 3 YUGIOH, 3 Yellow Marten, and the 1 Tiger. But Emerald Bird is actually pretty solid as well, and you mainly use it in the same way as the Yellow Marten. You send it off the YUGIOH effect. Emerald Bird, if it's sent to the graveyard, you target one level 4 Lunalight monster in your graveyard, or that is banished, except Emerald Bird. Spell summon in defense position. So, let's say first you send Yellow Marten off of YUGIOH, and then you bring YUGIOH back. And then for the next time you send the Emerald Bird, you can just use Emerald Bird to summon the Yellow Marten to your grave. So essentially, it becomes like a monster reborn in a way. Now, I did say this was a Lunalight Tri-Brigade build, in which I run 3 Fractal, 3 Nerval, 2 Karis, and the 1 Kit. Now, if you don't know what Tri-Brigades do, essentially you can banish any number of Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monsters from your graveyard, and special summon an extra deck monster whose link rating is the same as the number you banished. Now, Fractal has an additional effect too, where it can send itself from the field or graveyard to the grave to Foolish the Tri-Brigade, which you'll Foolish the Tri-Brigade Kit. And when Kit is sent to the graveyard, you can send another one, which you then send the Nerval. And when Nerval is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Tri-Brigade monster from your deck to your hand. There's also Karis, which can you discard 1 Beast, Beast Warrior, Winged Beast from your hand to special summon it. Next, I run a few tech cards, kind of. I got the 1 Black-Ring Zephyros the Elite. This is definitely very important, because if you, just like the Yellow Marten, the Zephyros effect to return 1 face-up card you control to the hand to special summon itself is really good, because it allows you to just get another use out of Lunalight Tiger. So you can use Lunalight Tiger maybe 4 times a turn, which is really good. Imagine if we had 3 Lunalight Tiger. That'd be insane. Also run the 1 Raid Raptor Singing Lanius. Now, Singing Lanius we mainly add off the Force Strix, because basically we go into Force Strix, add the Singing Lanius, special Singing Lanius. Then we go into the Y Strix, which will get us to the Zephyros of the Elite. Now, next is a card that probably not expecting, but I run 1 copy of Sprite Red. Now, you're probably wondering, why do I have a Sprite card in Lunalight Tri-Brigade? Well, going into Gigantic Sprite, it really isn't all that hard. because we run a bunch of Link 2s as well as multiple level 2s. The Tri-Brigade kit and the Tri-Brigade Karis are both level 2s. Not to mention Farrajet, Bearbrum, Y-Strix. Like, we got plenty of Link 2 monsters as well. So usually what I do, I just go into that Gigantic Sprite, and at the end of my turn after I set my board, then I'll special summon the Sprite Red just for an additional negate. Moving on to spells, I run 3 Lunalight Perfume. Lunalight Perfume is essentially a monster born for Lunalights, and additionally while it's in the graveyard, you get to swap card on card, add one Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand. So this card's a Rhoda and a monster born all in one. And that's not once per turn either, which is definitely really good. Although you have to discard for the banish to add one effect. Now, the one thing I don't like about Perfume is the way the name is worded. Technically it is a Luna Light card, not a Lunalight card. It doesn't make much sense to me, but because there's that space, you can't search it off of the Yellow Martin, which is really unfortunate. But I do have 3 copies of Foolish Barrel of Goods to get it to the graveyard. Also run 3 Fire Formation Tenki. Depending on your hand, like if you have either Fractal or Yellow Martin is what you'll go into. Sometimes you may use it to go to your Fractal to get your Tri-Brigade engine live. Or you might use it to grab the Lunalight Tri-Brigade. Or not, to grab the Tiger. Because that's only once per turn. And outside of Perfume, Tenki is really the only way to search it. Also run 2 Pot of Desires for draw power. Most of the 1-ofs in the deck aren't essential. They're just like luxury pieces. And I did want a little bit of draw power in this deck. I tried different things. Prosperity doesn't work, Extravagance doesn't work. I even tried a Small World, but Desires got me the best results. And if we banish, let's say, Sprite Red or Zephyros, it doesn't really hurt us too much. It just means you go a different direction. Also run the 1 Frivolous Burial. Obviously, this will get your Tri-Brigade deck going, as well as the 1-for-1. 1-for-1 can be additional, what can be good. Not only does this get you Nerval to the field, but you can also use it. The cost is also pretty good too. Like, let's say, for example, you got a Yellow Martin or Cloud Chick stuck in your hand. You can use the effect of 1-for-1 to send it to the graveyard. Then you can use Perfume to Monster Reborn it. Also run Monster Born, so I got like 4 Monster Borns, and the 1 Called by the Grave. Moving on to traps, I run the 1 Tri-Brigade Revolt, which is searchable off of Bearbrum, as well as the 1 Lunalight Serenade Dance. Serenade Dance I wanted to get into the graveyard much like Perfume, because when Serenade Dance is in the graveyard, you can banish it, discard a card, special summon a Lunalight monster from your deck. So, depending on the scenario, you might go for this instead. Like, let's say you already have Tiger in hand, then yeah, you're going to probably send this one off of Foolish Barrel of Goods to get your Yellow Martin or your Cloud Chick in the grave. But if you don't have Tiger, you're going to go for the Perfume. Also run 2 copies of Impermanence. Moving on to the extra deck, I run the 1 Farrajet. Farrajet, during your main phase, you can special summon level 4 lower beast, Beast Warrior Wing Beast monster from your hand. Additionally, you can place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of the... You can draw 1 card, place 1 card from the hand on the bottom of the deck when this card is sent to the graveyard. Also run the 1 Bearbrum. Like Farrajet, when it's sent to the graveyard, it has an effect to not necessarily draw 1, because this one's more specific. It will grab us the Revolt, which I'd say makes it better than Farrajet, at least in that sense, because Revolt it becomes a banish more or less. Also run the 1 Revolt of Silver Sheller. I only run it because it's a Link 3. You use it off the Tri-Brigade effects, and it also helps with going into access code. Also run the 1 Tri-Brigade Shurg. Whenever a Beast Warrior Wing Beast is summoned, including itself, you can banish the card on the field. I run the 1 Y-Strix, which is what gets you to your Zephyros Elites. Ancient Warriors Double Dragon Lords is a pretty good disruption, as well as the Alpalosa and the 1 access code. I'll also run some XYZ monsters in the form of Telarchnite Ptolemaeus. Yeah, you can actually use it in this deck. And it's not really too hard to make either, considering Zephyros is level 4, Fractal's level 4, Cloud Chick and Yellow Martin are level 4. Oh, even the Singing Lanius is level 4. Like, we got a bunch of level 4s, and because of Lunalight Tiger, we can get them to the field pretty easy. And usually, we basically just use it to go into Cyber Dragon Infinity as another negate. Also got the Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. Whenever this card is XYZ summoned, you can set a fire formation spell drop directly from your deck. So basically use this to get into your tank key. Also got the 1 4 strikes for the Stinging Lanius. Abyss Dwellers being a pretty good rank 4. And the 1 Gigantic Sprite for the orange. Or no, not the orange, the red. What do you think of Lunalight Tri-Brigade? Think it's a deck with a lot of potential? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.